Today we're going to make some goodies, and it all begins with 9 ounces of water put in a pan. Then we're going to add 4 ounces of butter until it melts. Let me get the butter in there. Alright, now that she's melted, it calls for a pinch of salt. That's just a pinch in my book. And a pinch of sugar. That's a pinch of sugar. Now we're going to go ahead and stir this thing. We stir it, stir it, stir it. Now that she's all stirred and all melted and everything, we will add 5 ounces of all-purpose flour all at once. Just toss it right in there. You bet. Now we're going to go ahead and stir that until it becomes a big globby mess. Just stir it and melt it down. Just keep stirring it around until she's all dissolved and becomes real thick. The object here is to boil the moisture out of it. We want to boil the moisture out of this. We're going to wind up replacing that moisture with eggs once we get it into our KitchenAid mixer that I bought. Can't wait. I'm just going to keep beating it till the moisture's gone. And even then, you got to beat it a little longer. I've got the stove set between 2 and 3. I may crank it up just a little bit more. But she's coming out, looks like mashed potatoes almost. Just mashed potatoes all moving around in one clump. That's what we're looking for. Get the moisture out. We want the moisture gone. She's beginning to dry out pretty good now. It's taken a while, but for some reason there's a little more water in there than it should have been. I don't know why. I measured it exactly. Anyway, I added a little more flour to it to help out. And she is beginning to dry out good. It's going to take a few more minutes. When we get it all dried out, we're going to go ahead and put it in our mixer. Alright, it dried out enough for me, and what I'm doing now is I'm cooling it down because I have to put anywhere from 3 to 5 eggs in it, one at a time, and I don't want the dough to cook the eggs because it's hot. Alright, let's add the first egg. There's one right there. I'm going to add the next 2 one at a time. I'm trying to blend it down. I want it to slap out around against the side of the bowl. I wound up putting 5 eggs in there and just a little more flour because I wanted that nice soft consistency. And when we raise this thing up, we want it to kind of cling to the paddle, which it is, and kind of slowly kind of drip down and drip off. That's exactly what we're looking for right there. Yes, ploppo. That's what you want, okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take my little old spatula here, and we're going to, I folded this piping bag down halfway, and I'm going to fill it, and I'm going to keep filling it till, till I get it, well, maybe 3/4 full. And then we're going to squirt it out the bottom of this nozzle, and we're going to put it on this parchment paper that I have on this flat tin here, this cookie tin, cookie sheet, whatever. And I'm going to put a whole bunch of rows. I'm going to make each one of these things is going to be maybe about the size of a hot dog. If you make them too small, that's no good. They got to be at least the size of a hot dog. And this nozzle, by the way, is the best one to do it with. This is a number 806, and it has a 1/2-inch hole in the end. It took me quite a while to find one of these, but I found one on eBay and finally got it in. You don't even need the coupler on the bottom. You just go ahead and cut the end of your bag off and then slip it in. It won't come out. So let's go ahead and fill this baby up and get squirting on there. Now this is actually the messy part of the job, trying to get the stuff out of there and in the bag. I even dribbled some out on the parchment paper, but that's okay. We'll wipe that up last. Right now we're just going to start putting us a nice hot dog length, about 6 inches long, about the size of a hot dog in diameter. Let's see how well I can do that. Well, that wasn't such a hot job. I mean, they're supposed to be the size of hot dogs. They look more like Polish sausages. Now we're going to take an egg wash. It's 1 egg and a couple teaspoons of milk beat together. That's all. We're going to go ahead and just kind of put it over the top of these things all the way down. You got to be kind of patient here. We're going to do this on each one. Yes, we are. Now we stick them in the oven at 400 degrees for 40 minutes. That one there on the left there, that one there looks kind of crappy, but we'll go ahead and stick them in there. Hopefully these things will turn out good. 40 minutes. Now to clean up my mess. All right. While they're in there baking away, the whole idea now is to bake these things dry. We want the center to be very dry, and the way these things are made, if you get them all dry, the center will be hollow all down through the middle. We'll see. Hopefully that'll work out. I made these once before. They just didn't turn, I mean, they tasted good, but they weren't as big, and they just didn't look like they should, so I'm going at it again. Meanwhile, while those things are baking, we're going to go ahead and put 2 cups of milk in this pan. And we're also going to add some vanilla extract, and then we're going to go ahead and boil those two together for a while. This recipe calls for a teaspoon of vanilla, but I like vanilla a lot, so I put about 1.5 teaspoons in. I think it won't hurt anything. It'll taste even better. So let's get her boiling. Wifey's going to help me separate 3 egg yolks from the white. Go ahead. Alright, I bought this little egg separator the other day. Or yolk separator, I guess it's called. Alright, that's 1. I guess you just kind of like shake it down, I guess, huh? Just keep shaking it until it all falls through. I transferred everything to the stainless steel bowl, makes it a lot easier. And I just added 1/3 cup of sugar. Now we need to add 2 tablespoons of flour and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Then we got to whisk it all together. Alright, I added just a little bit of heavy cream, whipping cream in there. And I got it so it's nice and kind of soupy-like. Yeah, that's the way I wanted it right there. Perfect. Okay, not really thick, not really thin. And the milk is boiling, so what I'm going to do is crank down the heat. Just put it on low. Then we're going to go ahead and take a 1 ladle of this out of here, put it in here, and stir real quick so it doesn't cook the egg. And as soon as it's all sloshy and everything's mixed up, and I'm sure the egg didn't cook, then I'm going to pour the whole thing back into here and stir and stir and stir until it's thick. Alright, I was successful in not cooking the egg. Now we'll go ahead and pour that whole mixture into this milk over here. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Now we're going to go ahead and stir that. Bring up the heat again and stir it till it's thick. But once again, I'm going to put my little touch into it. My little touch. I'm going to add something to it. What I plan to do, I don't know if it's going to work out, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to whip up a little bit of this whipping cream in my mixer using the whisk attachment. Then I'm going to add, after it's whipped up, you got to be careful. I guess you can make butter out of that if you whip it too much. That's what they claim anyway. When it gets just about to where I want it, I'm going to add just about 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. And we're going to get it all nice and fluffy in there and sweet looking. Alright, she's all mixed up. Powdered sugar and the whipping cream. Now I'm going to pour it into this and stir it around. Now we're going to boil it on down, make it nice and thick. I want a really nice, creamy, sweet cream when we get done here. Now I have to stand over it like a mama over a hen and boil, 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 get it on down. Medium heat. Alright, she's thickening up real nice, real nice. I'm going to stir it for a little while longer. I want it to be a little bit thicker. Hey, she's starting to dribble off the spoon. I want it to be a little bit thicker. Then we'll go ahead and put it in a bowl and set it in the refrigerator for a while. Let it cool down. Oh yeah, she's thickening up really nice now. Well, unfortunately, these things got a little bit too dark on top. But I took them out of the oven 10 minutes earlier than what it called for. It called for taking it out. But they're nice and soft on the bottom. I think once we get everything done on it, you won't even see how dark they are to begin with. They're going to taste really good. I'm getting ready to put this in the refrigerator, but first I took a bowl and put some ice cubes out of the old ice maker in the bottom, and I set the bowl on top to cool it down, as quickly as I can before I put a plastic wrap over the top. By the way, when I put the plastic wrap down, it's going to go down all the way to the pudding to where it touches it. Otherwise you get a skim across the top. You don't want that. Alright, the wrap is in, the saran wrap all the way down till it touches the top, like I said. And in a few minutes we'll pop her in the fridge and we'll let her set till she's totally cool. While we're waiting for that to cool down, I took this little tip I have here. It's a cake decorating tip. It's got like little saw teeth on the end. What number is this? This is number 4B. And I have punched a hole in each end on the bottom of these things. And you can see that they're pretty much hollow down in the inside. That's what we want. I just wish they hadn't gotten quite so dark. Next time I'll watch them a little more carefully. Instead of just following the recipe, I'll probably bake them for maybe like 30 minutes. Alright, the filler has been cooled down. It's nice and squishy, just the way it's supposed to be. Now here's the idea. I am again supposed to fill one of these piping bags. I'm going to leave that tip in there that I cut the hole in the bottom of the dough with. You fill it up with the cream and then take this and stick it down in one of the holes, squirt it out, and it's supposed to come out the other hole, which means the entire cavity in there, if a cavity was created, the entire cavity will be full of cream. If it doesn't come out the other end, then I'll just move the nozzle over to here and squish again. One way or the other, we'll get that thing full of cream. Well, here goes. I'm going to squeeze it. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. I don't want it to come up to the top. Apparently I didn't make enough of it. There it goes, there it goes. See it coming out of there? Yes, it worked. So that's what I'm going to do to all of these. The last thing we have to do is put a few chocolate chips down in here, like so. Dark chocolate. Then we're going to add a little honey to that afterwards. And we're going to take this cream, this heavy cream, what's left of it. I might add a little milk to it because I used quite a bit of it on the other stuff. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get that stuff boiling. Alright, a little bit more boiling, and then we're going to go ahead and just dump the whole thing in on top of those chocolate chips. Then I'm going to add a little bit of honey, and then after it's had a chance to melt all that chocolate, then I'll stir it around, and we'll do the last step. Yeah, she's about ready to go right now, about ready to go in there. The reason I'm pouring in the honey is because wifey, she likes to have her chocolate sweet. She does not want semi-sweet chocolate. She doesn't like it. So we'll give it a couple more minutes now and then we'll stir it. Well, it's been a long process, guys, but we're down to the last step. Down to the last step. The last step is to take these little things and dip them in the chocolate so it looks just like that. Ooh. Let's do another one. This is my second try at doing this kind of stuff, and I can already tell you it leaves a lot to be desired. Next time I'll watch the oven, see how long I leave them in the oven. It said 40 minutes, like I said. I took them out like 10 minutes early and they were still too dark, so I'll have to watch them a lot closer next time. But the whole thing boils down to the taste. If wifey and great-grandma said they taste good, as far as I'm concerned, they're good. Alright, let's take one in for Mama. Give it a try. Pick one up. Be careful now, it's going to run out the bottom probably. I'll get you a napkin. Tell me what you think. What do you think? Good, bad, or indifferent?
Good.
Are they really good?
Mm-hmm.
They don't taste too crunchy or nothing?
They're a little crunchy, but they're good.
A little crunchy, but they're good. Alright. Let's go see what great-grandma says. I need to give her a napkin. Let me get her a napkin. Then I'm going to sit down and have one myself. Great-grandma going to give it a try.
What did you do?
What'd you say? I can't hear you. Speak up.
I said, that's good. What did you do?
That's a chocolate eclair. My version of a chocolate eclair. It had a few problems, but they taste. How about that cream? Doesn't that taste good?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I modified that cream. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Next time I'll do even better, I hope. I mean, you have to do better. Till next time, this is John. Well, we can't end the video yet, as usual. I'm going to have to do my own taste test. Now, next time I'll make the chocolate thicker. And like I said, I won't leave the dough, the breaded dough portion in the oven quite so long. Other than that, everything else seems to be okay. The chocolate should have been a little bit thicker. It's just kind of thin right there. But let's see. Let me give it a little taste here. I also probably made them a little bit too large. Last time I made them too small. This time too large. I'll get it one of these days. That ain't bad, is it, Grandma?
No, it's not.
No, a little bit crunchier than I want, but still very good.